Is anyone else tired, like, all the time? I wake up after an 8-hour sleep. I'm tired. I eat food. I'm tired. I exercise. Tired. I don't exercise. I'm tired. I go to bed. Can't sleep. I could never relate to the caffeine boost people apparently get from drinking potions of wakefulness. I can't function without my coffee. You guys can function? So how does one feel exhausted all the time, despite sleeping, exercising, and eating enough, and sitting at home all day drawing cartoons? I have my theories. My brain is evil. My brain is so constantly full of thoughts. I am a chronic overthinker. In a way, it's a superpower. I have the ability to think of the most niche, specific things that others tend to miss, so that absolutely nothing can ever go wrong, of course. But obviously, that doesn't leave me much time to not think. Did you know that some people straight up just have no thoughts whatsoever sometimes? Like, what? How do you not have a tiny version of you yapping in your ear at all times, narrating every single thing that's going on at the current moment and all possible moments that could follow? I genuinely can't comprehend the idea of your brain just being quiet sometimes. Like, you're lying, right? There's no way you can just not think. Learning this information kind of broke me, I'm not gonna lie. But it does kind of explain this perpetual exhaustion. You don't really, like, consider something as being abnormal if you've lived with it your whole life. But I guess it makes sense that if you're constantly thinking about every possible past and future mistake and what exactly you need to do to avoid them all, it would make you pretty tired. Nah, I'm just an EP guy, nothing to worry about. It's definitely not affecting my ability to relax and enjoy my hobbies and generally concentrate on existing in the present. I'm a very ambitious person. I want to do all the things. It's why I never settled on a consistent art style. I want all the art styles. I think I just have an overly intense fear of missing out or making a wrong decision. But every time I see some kind of artwork or craft, I want to do it too. So I've ended up with all these hobbies and interests, all these projects I want to do, but with no time or energy to actually do them. And I feel like this pressure to do them as well. It feels like if I don't create this thing, it will continue to live in my brain with all the other things that are already living in there and overcrowding the place, along with this urge to constantly think about it so I don't forget about it. Like, yeah, I can write it down, but some things you can't exactly put into words on a page, like character designs or concepts you gotta actually make in some form to get it out of your brain in a way that captures every detail that's important not to forget. Other than that, writing stuff down helps a lot though. I have a sketchbook that I just write stuff down in whenever my brain is feeling too full. So there's just like life drawing studies next to giant walls of text about how I have so much stuff to do today and I don't know what to start with. But I also feel kind of hungry. I kind of want to eat something, but that's also another thing to decide. And then there's like a list of stuff that I have in the fridge with lines between things that could go together and stuff that I don't feel like eating crossed out. I feel like this book has become like the closest physical representation of me aside from myself. And I keep imagining my future relatives like 100 years from now looking at this book to see what kind of person I was and being like, wow, this is a really interesting, weird historic relic. See, again, like, I can't just do a therapeutic activity without creating new imaginary scenarios to replace the ones I just wrote down. Writing stuff down is really helpful though. Highly recommend. When you just sit and think about something you're worrying about, I feel like you tend to get caught in a loop of just thinking about the same thing over and over, as if it'll eventually resolve itself if you think about it hard enough. But if you write it down, you tend to be able to analyze the problem more objectively and tackle it step by step. Another technique I use, particularly when I'm in a situation where I can't write it down, is to wield my wild imagination to my advantage by literally imagining the thought is on a piece of paper and I'm folding it up and putting it in a folder on a shelf for later. Sounds kind of silly, but it's worked surprisingly well. Perhaps because it's like you're telling your brain, yo, I acknowledge that this thought is important, so I'm going to save it for later when we're in a better position to deal with it. Now go to sleep. I feel a bit weird doing this in a video with a somewhat serious topic, but this was something that people have been asking about for a while, and it would probably be weirder to not tell you about it. I have a new plush, the first ever socks plush. He's open for pre-orders from now until December 8th. Buy him so I can take a nap or something, I don't know. And real quick, you know what else is exhausting? Making video games. Yeah, the game I've been a part of for the last 3 years is finally coming out. I can't wait to take a huge nap when it does. If you want to support me, wish lists help a ton. Or if it's already out by the time you're watching this, reviews are super helpful. It is cozy and not mentally overwhelming, I think. Oh, there I go thinking again. Here's some bonus for those of you who stuck around till the end. I actually started therapy recently, so I guess I'll let you know if I learn anything new from that. I think some people would consider this oversharing, but part of why I feel comfortable making videos like this is because I know not everyone is in a position where they can speak to a licensed professional about this kind of thing. And hearing that another person can relate is a small but reassuring thing. At least that's how I felt when I was in a similar position. So I'm happy to share any general tips or useful information I might learn if it has the potential to help even one or two other people. Thank for watch.